And we are back for episode 2 of the Very Important People Talking About Very Important Things podcast. I'm your host, Cameron, and my equally co-hosts, Benjamin and Jonathan here.
That's
Guys,
right.
we
Say
made
my
it
name
to...
first.
Are we equally important? No, I'm not. I don't know. I'm feeling is equally important.
I was
we
here
made it
first.
Yeah, I think the fix was in on that. Let me tell you.
Hey, we made it to episode 2. We got farther than I thought we ever would. So you know what? A win is a win. How is everyone tonight?
Oh, all right. Feeling good. Strong.
Yeah.
Strong. Awesome.
Tasty beverage.
Let's do this.
What are you drinking there, Ben?
Kilt lifter.
Kilt lifter. John, what are you drinking?
Old Granddad bonded. Bottled in bond.
I have.
I've got Old Overholt bottled in bond, and I've got Old Granddad bottled in bond. You know what? I'm not making that up. You guys need to learn more about whiskey. Oh my god.
I don't doubt. I have.
What
some,
are you
like,
drinking,
sugar,
Cam?
Yeah, what is
Sugar
that?
cookie protein powder mix.
Okay, on the health food kick.
I'll trade you guys. Anything new, exciting going on, real quick, in your world?
DC just announced that they're literally going to print money.
We're
Over the
jumping
last-
straight into news.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the important stuff, right? No?
It's fine. It's fine.
News,
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
news.
So over the last 6 months, DC launched their Absolute universe, and it was like gangbusters, right out the bat. And most of the issues are 15 to 17 issues in, somewhere around there. And you have the Trinity, you have Batman, you have Superman, you have Wonder Woman, and then they threw in Martian Manhunter, you have the Flash and Green Lantern and stuff. And everything has been incredibly well received. It's probably the best thing DC has done in the last decade. And they're taking almost all the titles back to reprint. And it's wild because a bunch of these books already have trade paperbacks out for their first volumes. And people still want to get the singles in hand. So Absolute Batman #1 is going back to an 11th print. I think Wonder Woman and Superman are up in the 10 and 11s for printing. It's absolutely insane. But they're going to reprint the first 10 issues all again. And it's absolutely bonkers. No pun intended. But Batman's upwards of almost 500,000 print run for the first issue, which is crazy. You just don't see that anymore. But I think it's wild that DC sees some really good stuff in the Absolute series, and they're absolutely gonna cash in on it while they can. So I think it's pretty cool. It's exciting, and I think they just announced that Absolute Green Arrow is going to come out soon. I don't know. Some cool news from DC. Yeah. Anyways.
That's almost, 90s level print run?
I mean, it's getting up there. I mean, it's not Lee X-Men #1 at 4 million copies, but still 500,000 copies is nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, totally. And are we circling back to this later, or is that it?
We might be.
Okay, I'll hold off on some
We
questions.
might be.
I'll hold off on some questions.
I might be selling you some books.
Okay, I'll hold off. John, anything in the news you wanted to share?
Oh, I'm probably going to be buying me some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle magic cards at some point. I saw the new set and more pizza-related things. Now, I don't know, man. I just need to build a deck based around actual foods, since I can combine bagels and pizza.
You get a golden goose in there.
Yeah, just The food deck, it was more abstract before,
A
but
food
I feel like
deck.
it could be fully realized.
I was going to bring that up
Lean
as
into
well
it.
because they're starting to spoil the set, and we're all big Magic players here. Have you looked at? I mean, obviously you've seen some pizza cards.
I've
John.
seen more food being revealed, and the pizza theming in the decks are, they're cool. So, some people don't like the Universes Beyond stuff, and I get it, but I mean, I really like Ninja Turtles, so who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? I guess it's really just a matter of if you like the property or not, isn't it?
Ben, what are your thoughts on Ninja Turtles or TMNT and
I'm
MTG?
totally picking up the Commander deck. It'll be my first 5-color. Yay!
What the hell?
So I've heard a couple things online about the set. First, there's a lot of people that are upset about some of the art direction. There's been some accusations thrown that Wizards is using AI art in some of these
very
cards.
sloppy looking pizza I've seen on some of them.
The pizza, yeah. I mean, I don't know if those artists have ever eaten pizza before, but the pizza is just slop, cheese. It's almost sexual, just the way the cheese is represented in these pizzas. It's all over the place.
Like Will Smith trying to eat spaghetti, just
Yes.
flopping around.
So yeah, the art direction's not been great. There's a lot of people that are comparing it to the Spider-Man set, which I know you liked, Ben, but the Spider-Man set.
I'm just a fan. I don't know that the set was good. I'm a fan, and I definitely bought it because I'm a fan. I might mildly regret my purchases, but
Okay, I heard
I mean-
this was like one of those like mini sets or something that they expanded. Is that what they did with the Assassin's Creed cards? Is that what that was?
The beef is it looked like it's a small set, and at the very end they expanded it to try and make it a full, bigger one.
which
they
is
make
what
these
they did
sets-
try and do with Spider-Man.
Yeah, they make these sets like 2 years before. So whatever we're playing now, it's been in the works for 2+ years. Like they're pretty slow to do everything. So it's hard for them to turn the ship around if there's any issues. But it just like the limited environment didn't play very well. If you ever play Magic Arena, the Spider-Man cards weren't on Arena. They had to make a whole different plane or universe. It's the same mechanics, different art, different names, super confusing. You think Spider-Man would be a home run, but there's a lot of grumbling about it. And I'm seeing some mixed things with the Turtles here. So it'll be interesting to see how it is received.
It's also hard because
What I-
turtles, they all wear different color headbands, and you may not be matching the colors of the magic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Leonardo's white, but he wears blue. Crazy. What do you have? How
Come
can
on.
I-
He's
How can I
not blue.
possibly reconcile this? How can I possibly reconcile this? I don't know, man. I'm struggling, but
One thing that is kind of cool I've seen so far, and also the Ninja Turtles set pretty much got spoiled in the Lorwyn Eclipsed pre-release kits because people were getting those cards mistakenly inserted into the promos there, which Wizards does. They took away the foil stamp on the promos now, and it's like, so stingy.
Did you attend the Lorwyn pre-release to get some of those?
I went undefeated. Yes, I did, sir. And I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, one thing I do kind of like is that it seems like it's like, because Ninja Turtles been around forever. It's like a bunch of different versions of maybe the Ninja Turtles, it looks like. But one thing I've noticed is there's a lot of cards that reference the Konami beat 'em up game. There's a lot. It might be one of the Commander decks.
Yeah, like
but-
Continue and stuff like that.
Yeah, and some of like the enemies from there, and like some of the cards, special. Anyway, I thought that was cool that game is being honored or remembered in that way, because that kind of, for me at least, that's a big part of my memories of Ninja Turtles, and so I do like seeing the game get some kudos there. Oh, they even have a card I saw for the electric plankton from the NES game in the dam level. Yeah, it's good too. Yeah. It's actually pretty good. It's like a wall. But well, we'll see how Ninja Turtles goes, and it's only at the time of this recording, I think pre-release is maybe even next weekend, so it's coming up pretty quick, and I hope to be there because it's always fun for me. Next segment was our Sell It segment. It's where one of the cast gets to share something they think is kind of cool or interesting with the rest of us and pitch us and try and turn us into buyers, I guess. John went last week and talked about Project Zomboid. Zombicide?
Yeah, what? No.
Yeah.
Project
Zomboid.
Z?
You gotta
All I remember is using the brain to make the leather, and
yes. Oh my gosh. Are you guys going to get on my? You guys are not going to get on my server, are you?
I'm working on it.
Please.
Ben,
my computer can barely run this podcast. Well, so this week, I'm going to sell you on the Absolute Universe. So imagine, outside of continuity, a Gotham that is falling apart, and some familiar faces show up in the Absolute Universe, but in different places. So Gotham is on the brink of disaster. You have Mayor Jim Gordon, who was elected under the pretense of his admirable record as commissioner, unable to keep the city from bursting with crime. You have crime families such as the Maronis and Falcones being murdered in the streets by a masked enemy bent on destroying Gotham. So your hero, Bruce Wayne, is not some rich kid socialite. He just happens to be the son of a teacher and a social worker. Does not have the luxuries of millions of dollars behind him to fund his fight on crime, but does witness a tragedy that shapes his future going forward. So as he embarks on this journey of finding out what he can do, he runs into some familiar faces that got him through his early childhood, his friends growing up in Crime Alley, like Oswald Cobblepot, and you have Selena Kyle. And we just lost Cam. Yeah, he was so excited about it. He's gonna go buy it right now.
It worked. Good job. You know what? I'm about to leave you too. I got to go get this comic book. I love the dystopian.
Son of a bitch. So I'm going to keep going, and Cam can find out by watching the replay.
I know.
So Bruce runs into his childhood friends. You have Edward Nygma, you have Oswald Cobblepot, you have Selena Kyle, you have Waylon Jones, and they have also helped kind of shape his journey, dealing with the tragedy in his early childhood. And so yeah, your first arc, the first 5 issues, deal with Batman finding himself and challenging this hidden entity that is using the upper class to fund his destruction of the city. One of the things that I totally dig about it is it's written by Scott Snyder, who is a critically acclaimed author. This is not his first time writing for Batman. He definitely cut his chops in New 52, with Batman, which is arguably one of the best runs of Batman, forming the Court of Owls, which is now one of Batman's most challenging rogue entities. So Scott Snyder is no again. Son of a bitch.
You're really convincing this guy. He is gone.
He's just out. Anyways, don't just take my word for it. Take the fact that there's almost 500,000 copies sold. So it's not just all speculator nonsense. But yeah, Scott Snyder is just absolutely killing it. I won't spoil too much, but his friendly childhood chums might eventually become rogues in their own right. Familiar faces like Alfred Pennyworth do show up, but he's not a steward of the Wayne family. He might be a secret agent working for a shadow government with his own plans for Gotham. So I totally recommend Absolute Batman. I also hear Absolute Martian Manhunter is totally fantastic. But between all the titles, it's a reimagining of all these familiar characters in new ways that still seem genuine to the core of who the character is. But yeah, they definitely take new journeys, and I'm a big fan. I have collected everything through Absolute Batman, up to the most recent issue that came out last week that introduced Absolute Poison Ivy. So, there you go. Cam, you missed it all. You're going to have to watch the replay.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Batman, isn't his insignia like the head of an axe?
It is.
Yes, no?
So,
Wait, his face is an
some
axe.
of the tools that he uses. So he's designed his own suit. So they kind of lean into the fact that he is incredibly intelligent and he's an engineer. And everything that he's created, he's a blue-collar worker. Everything that he's created by hand on his own. And so on his chest is this giant insignia. It's very reminiscent of Frank Miller's design for Batman through The Dark Knight Returns. He's just absolutely massive. But yeah, his insignia is the head of an axe. And so he has a staff on his belt that connects to it. His ears on his cowl are daggers, and he uses them like batarangs. He can control them. There's one where he's in a fight with someone, and they kind of move forward, and he headbutts them, and they go right through the dude's skull. He still follows the principle. He is not there to kill anyone, but he does not shy away. Yeah, he does not shy away from cutting off limbs or yeeting kids into the ocean. Yeah, he's kind of a no holds barred. He's definitely there. Oh yeah, he he totally drop kicks a kid into the ocean off a boat. It's so good.
When I first saw this,
the kid's like, "You can't hurt me. I'm a child." And he's like, "Yeah, all right." Yoink.
When I first saw this, it reminded me. I thought it was like DC's version of like the Ultimate Universe, or it just seemed very 90s extreme to me, just by taking everything to like this crazy level of maybe like it just seemed very hyper 90s to me, like a throwback almost, which I'm not saying is bad, and maybe I'm off base.
Yeah.
And it's been, maybe 90s are back, we're nostalgic for it, so I guess this is good timing. But it just reminded me of, the 90s when everybody had, big guns, big belt pouches, big everything. It's just kind of in the spirit. Again, not good or bad. It just reminded me a lot of like a 90s take on something.
I mean,
But I
you're
don't know
not
the
wrong.
details.
I mean, they've definitely reinvented a whole new universe, and it all interacts with each other. I mean, you have Absolute Batman meeting Absolute Wonder Woman around issue 15, and she's, instead of being like the princess of Themyscira, she's the Lord of Hell and all the things. So I mean, there kind of is that sense of 90s Ultimate, but it's not so ridiculous where you have like Wolverine trying to have sex with small children, or Scarlet Witch sleeping with her brother Quicksilver. Like it's not like over the Warren Ellis
those
is
are all
not writing
things.
it. Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, it's well written, which I think is one of the distinct differences between that and 90s Ultimate titles.
Well, it embraces that, I think, which is, it does seem kind of cool. But we
Yeah.
with the success they've had at 500,000 copies, I'm sure it's got a long shelf life, and it's probably not long before we get a movie out of it, which is something we want to talk
Nice
about
segue.
today. So I am the master. So this came up in our first episode last week, kind of at the end. We were talking about, I don't remember who brought it up or how it came up, but we were talking about comic book adaptations into movies, or maybe video game adaptations into movies. But I thought maybe that might be an interesting thing to discuss these days, because with the success of the Minecraft movie last year, I know the Super Mario movie did pretty well. And the way that Hollywood is these days, they're always chasing trends. But video games may have finally their time in the sun to shine, as it seems like those are some of the hot properties maybe that Hollywood is getting into. But as we all know, there's a long, disappointing history of adaptations in cinema. So I guess my question to you, or something to discuss, is like, what makes... maybe we were talking about Preacher versus, I think, The Boys, right? Mm-hmm. And how those translated to TV. What makes a good adaptation from a comic book or game into a movie? What do you want to see?
John, you start, because I just talked a whole bunch, and Cam didn't listen
hard.
to me because he kept disconnecting.
Okay. I like to see a love of the property come through in the movie. When it is, when any of those movies that are based on a property like that are made, one thing that is very conspicuous is when they just change everything out, like significant things, and, it's clear that they don't like what it's based on. So therefore, they're trying to, separate to a larger extent than it would be, than just is based on practicality. So I'm thinking about, and it can be silly stuff, like if you had the X-Men movies and everybody's dressed in black leather. I get that it may look better for the movie, but there's no acknowledgement of what the characters are, or if you throw stuff in there, just to do with the with the
We weren't ready for full, accurate costumes back in that time period.
That's
We weren't ready.
You're not wrong.
That's what they said.
But they did make Blade back then, which was an awesome movie. I think that was closer to the source material.
What costume was Blade wearing?
The first Marvel movie.
Yes, it is. Oh, black leather. Oh, like the X-Men. Yeah. So you're looking for some faithful adaptations, or you just want to see a love of the property?
There should be a love of the property. That there's not disdain for it. That the person that is doing it does not think what they're basing it on is stupid.
Okay.
I think that comes through in some movies when the thing that they're basing it on is they don't like it. I was thinking that with and this is hard because I kind of like the movies, but Resident Evil.
Oh.
Oh no, those are horrible movie adaptations.
Now,
It's so bad.
You know what? I like those movies, but I would say I don't think they liked the game Resident Evil when they made those movies. I think it comes through as they were changing things to make it work as a movie, right?
Yeah.
Interesting you bring that up. I just saw on my Facebook feed the other day, there's a new Resident Evil movie in development again. I don't remember who the director was, but the quote was he was given like free reign to do whatever he wants to do within the property. And I'm just like, oh no. Like, he was boasting about that. I'm like, that is always a recipe for disaster. Like, we've done that before. What are we doing? Why?
To drag a few more people in, you have this property, and then you don't really make it, like, match up, right? Like, the movie 300, I thought matched up.
Amazing.
And you can tell that the guy that made it really liked this comic book, clearly, because he put a lot of...
I mean, there were shot-for-shot reproductions in the movie.
Yeah. I think that came across well. That was a good movie for it.
Well, Ben, what are your thoughts on this, since you are Mr. Comic Book?
So, you brought up the Minecraft movie, and you brought up Mario, and I feel like when there's an adaptation in the works, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to adapt a property, or are you trying to adapt a story? Because I think you have to approach both of those in uniquely different ways. If you're trying to adapt a property like Minecraft, like you kind of have a basic idea of what Minecraft is, and you can do whatever you want because there's nothing there. And you run a really big risk, I think, of kind of too much free reign, getting out of hand. But if you're just adapting the property, like John says, you have to like it. You have to have some care for what you're doing, and you have to show that through what you make, so that other people that care about that are going to lean into it. Whereas when you're adapting like a storyline, Dune for in particular, there's a love for the story. There's no wiggle room to really change things. I feel like you might be able to embellish some stuff, and I mentioned The Last of Us earlier, but you have to be faithful. And so what's important at that point is to pick a property that people are interested in. You can't just grab some random book and go, okay. For instance, is Dune. The Last of Us. The Last of Us has an incredibly strong fan base, and you have some people that are really crazy about the game, and they did a fantastic job taking that story and adapting it faithfully for the show. But what they were able to do is they were able to embellish on nuances that were in the story that weren't always fleshed out during the story, which I think added in benefit to the property as a whole. And I think being faithful like that, again, leans into loving the work and caring enough to adapt more to it to get a great story. On the flip side of that,
I think what you're saying with the adding is important, because I was about to bring up Watchmen, which did not go beyond. I didn't go beyond anything. There was nothing like.
Did you watch the show though?
No, I didn't watch the show. I'm talking about purely the movie.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
was purely just, and so far as I could tell, just an adaptation, like if you had made a movie of this comic book. It didn't really seem to add anything. It didn't like seem to change anything, unless I missed any of the changes.
I
It
mean,
cut out a
other
few-
than the distinct differences in the end,
yeah,
I know that was kind of a big sticking point for a lot of folks. I don't know that the original ending in the book would have come across. Like, I still think the core of the story was still kind of the same, the disillusion with superheroes. I think that idea came across, and I can look at the ending of the movie and go, okay, it's still in the benefit of the story. I think conveys it well. I think people would have thought giant squids falling out of the sky would be kind of ridiculous, because it is kind of ridiculous.
yeah.
For Watchmen is kind of like Dune in that both of those properties for the longest time were considered unfilmable. I remember, and they're both. Watchmen is great. I always liked it. I'll stand by that. The movie just came out ahead of its time. If you put Watchmen out now, post Marvel, I think it would have been kind of similar maybe to The Boys. The Boys is successful because it riffs off kind of what we're all used to with the Marvel movies. But at the time, there was X-Men, Blade, the old Batman, and there just wasn't, it wasn't in the culture enough. But Watchmen is very, very faithful. Dune is very, very faithful. They lean heavily into the material. They respect it. And I was going to say that's why those movies, I think, succeed. I'm not talking about box office, but I'm talking about a good adaptation. Those properties are popular for a reason. The fans like them for a reason. And if you throw all that away when it's lost in translation, you're just making it's not for anybody at that point. So, yeah, I agree, John. Yeah, it's very important it's a balance. You got to find what makes the original stand out, what makes it so popular, take that property. And translating it to the big screen is not easy. Super Mario Brothers, what the hell is the story there? How are you going to make a 90-minute film out of that, right? So there's challenges, of course, but still making, being true to the world, I think, is important, just as important as a story. Yeah. Minecraft, I'm not a Minecraft player. They did a good job of bringing the world over and some of the craziness and the unique stuff with it, right? But the story, I don't even remember what the story for that game was, or that movie was. It was awful.
The game has a story.
None of it matters.
I mean, does it have a story?
I don't play enough. The Mario movie, same thing. They got all the little inside jokes, and visually, it was great to see the Mushroom Kingdom and everything in, and go-karts and power-ups and stuff. But the story, again, where was the story? It just was not. It could have been a really good movie, but it was just another. It seemed to me half-ass effort. Not a fan. There's no story there.
So what are your thoughts on a movie adaptation of a property where it really is just kind of the name in general? However, the movie ends up being better than the property. And I'll use the example.
Give an example.
Wanted. Mark Millar's Wanted is a horrible comic.
I had that written down.
Yes! It is a horrible comic. It is such an...
The movie sucks too.
No, the movie was so good. The movie was so good. Come on.
I saw the comic and I was like, well, did they just mess up this comic? And I was like, wow, this comic is way worse than the movie turned out.
The comic is so bad.
So I was like, oh, the story of a really evil Eminem is not... I didn't find it very compelling. Wait, have you read that comic, Cam?
All I know is they bend the bullets, but I never read the comic. I never watched the movie.
No, that's so.
That is not in the. Yeah, sorry.
They don't even do it in the comics.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Okay, I don't know.
So an analog for Eminem, literally looks like him, everything. He. What? Oh my God! What was the story of that? he like goes to like an alternate, figures out he's in an alternate universe where all the heroes are dead, and
the villains won.
Villains won.
Interesting.
Yeah, like all the superheroes are dead,
And
so
so-
he figures out that he can do whatever he wants, and he starts doing whatever he wants, and now I can't even remember what else. Like it's
The secret society like takes him in, like these villains take him in, and there's a bunch of just random edgy villain stuff that happens. It's a Mark Millar book. Like, it's ridiculous. Like they raid a dimension to steal a kryptonite condom or something like that. Like, just absolute ridiculous, nonsensical stuff. And the movie has nothing to do with anything that happens in the comic other than you have a guy and a group of bad guys kind of take him in to do certain things. But I think the movie on its own it's an entertaining movie. I think there's some fun characters, there's some cool shots, some good action, and like, I mean, on its own, no, it's so good.
Right,
Shut up.
No, I'm sold. They good cast. Good cast.
Yeah. So I mean, that's I think an example of they really just ditched everything and just took a name. Like, even conceptually, like, it's so vastly different than the source material. I don't know, like, I would rather see something faithful to a source material if the name is going to be attached to it. I don't know why they took the name and attached the name to it. Like,
I think
they could have
it's
called it
because
something else.
They couldn't get a hold of Eminem to play the main character. They had to change things up.
He does look so much like Eminem.
I want to mention the elephant in the room, which we haven't really talked about, but maybe that's reflective of where it is these days. But, I mean, how can we not mention or give props to those Marvel movies? The MCU is, or was, such a huge juggernaut. And I see you shaking your head, Ben, but I will say this, as a comic book guy in past tense, those movies were such love. Like, you got decades of Marvel, continuity and continuity and just lore, and like, how do you translate all that into like a modern day film set in modern times?
Are they good as individual films?
Again, and I'm not talking about recent, and there's like some misses for sure, but on the whole, at least the beginning, phase 1, 2, and 3, like, those movies are pretty rock solid because they, there's obviously a love. That's why Marvel made their own movies. They wanted control over it. They put care into the scripts, the casting, the special effects. But it's not always a direct one-to-one, and that's fine. There's enough there, enough respect to the legacy of the characters, the big stories. I think, again, you see the success. You can't argue against it, right? Those movies are just juggernauts, but they're so well done because they pay a lot of homage to what made those characters so loved for so long in the past. They got away from it, but you got to give Marvel its props. They really, I mean, growing up, we would have killed for a great comic book movie growing up, right? Growing up with
We
things
had
like
Blade.
We had Blade. I don't know what else you need.
Blade the exception.
Yeah, come on.
We had Dick Tracy,
I did like Dick Tracy.
which I thought was a banger of a movie.
But Warren Beatty didn't want the big nose, so he fought getting the big nose.
I think just the fact that they managed to translate over a bunch of the weird-looking dudes, even if it was only in the beginning of the movie, was pretty tight. The little face dude was with the giant head.
Oh yeah.
Flat top and all of them.
Yeah.
Mumbles.
It's very, very colorful. Very colorful movie.
They could have just made a colorful gangster movie, and they went madcap and had that guy literally with a flat head.
Yeah, Blacktop. Yeah, no. Dick Tracy was actually good. I like that one.
But, and so you can look at other things like the Lord of the Rings adaptation, like through Lord of the Rings. It's incredibly well-loved source material, but then you do The Hobbit and you take what is a short story and drag it into 3 movies and introduce characters that were never involved and start adding all sorts of other things to it. Like, I don't know, it just seems so disingenuous, like to the original 3 movies of Lord of the Rings. I don't know, I definitely walked away from those feeling really disappointed for the IP.
The opposite of the problem with most comic book movies, because most comic book movies have so much material that you end up having origin movies, hoping that you can make another one after, and you have origin movies and origin movies and origin movies. It's like you can't just start with things, in play, even though everybody already knows the bloody character.
This is going to be tough, because what would be the best adaptation? Video game, comic book? What's the best adaptation you can think of?
It's Blade.
Is Blade really?
It's Blade.
Have you ever read a Blade
Blade
comic?
2.
How well do you know what Blade okay, I'll give you some
No,
rope to
Blade
hang
does not
yourself
translate well. Blade is not faithful. Blade was just a cool vampire movie with Wesley Snipes.
with. Isn't he like English? Or
Some
something
motherfuckers always try to ice skate uphill.
That's a great line. Yeah, isn't he English or something, Ben? Right? Originally.
Blade?
There's a vampire cow. I know that in the comics. And I think he's got.
I don't think so.
There is. There's definitely. Okay, sorry. Everything I know about Blade was from my Marvel Superheroes
RPG
game book. I had the one that had all the characters from Blade in it, and I said, "Wow, there's a cow on this page." I think it was called the Hell Cow.
Hell Cow, yeah.
Yeah, and he was definitely a character.
Marvel Snap. There's a Hell Cow card. Who was early in the game and is decent, I guess. But yeah.
Oh,
Hell Cow is
exciting.
He's in Marvel Snap.
And he's from Blade, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming a vampire cow. Yeah.
I think Blade's movie run was more along the lines of the first solo series of Blade Vampire Hunter, probably closer to what they were trying to accomplish there versus his involvement in Tomb of Dracula. He comes across more as just like a regular guy in Tomb of Dracula that doesn't even know he's a vampire type deal for a while. So I would say he's probably more closely adapted from the 90s run of Blade. I can't say there's something in my wheelhouse that I read because I don't.
You're a DC
but
guy. Dirty DC.
I think, well,
He's a Hell Cow guy.
okay, but all right, there's a good point. So you bring up DC movies, like it's kind of the same idea. You have these properties that have been around for the last 80 years, and why can't they get off the ground? Like why can't Warner Brothers get out of their own way to make a good DC movie? Like their only really successful DC movie was Wonder Woman, the first one. Like that was the only one that really cracked in the box office. Every other DC movie has just been dead on arrival. Like what's the real difference?
Do you get to count like all the Christopher Reeve Superman movies? Do you get to count those?
I mean, do you? I mean,
We know
modern
the
day.
answer. They were copying Marvel's homework. They were trying to get this whole universe, but Marvel had a huge head start, so they were trying to like build it on the fly. And Marvel, they took their time before everyone came together, which was why it was so awesome. DC was impatient. They were playing catch up, and they kind of screwed the. Plus, super dark. Zack Snyder is a good director at times. I don't know if you want to center everything around his Snyderverse vision.
Plenty
maybe.
of good Batman movies. That's a DC character.
Yeah. No, Batman
So
Begins.
if you
and
if
Dark
you
Knight,
if
yeah.
you look at the '80s and '90s Batman movies, they were more. It was an action flick. It wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't a story. It was never meant to be a story. It was never meant to reach beyond its own individual movie. And
Okay, so
maybe
Michael
to
Keaton,
your point,
Batman.
Cam, is that the problem with DC nowadays is that yes, they were trying to copy this formula that was going to be this long running story between movies versus try and build a good property like phase 1, 2, and 3 of MCU. Try and build a good property. Try and build a good character and then build like expand from there. Like maybe they tried to get to the end of the race before starting the race. I don't know. I've struggled a lot with the DC movies. Like,
Well,
I mean, everything post '90s Batman because those were all great.
and a lot of those characters have baggage because you got the Wonder Woman TV show, all the Superman movies. Like, there ain't ever been an Iron Man movie before. Guardians of the Galaxy was C tier team at best. So a lot of the Marvel
I
stuff
mean,
was new for the
so
first
are they
time.
looking at the Henry Cavill Supermans and going, "Oh, that wasn't Christopher Reeves"? Like
I just
it was
think
bad because it wasn't Christopher Reeves?
I just think it was a retread from the start, and so it was too. I don't know. It was too similar. I think it was too close to Marvel.
Is
Maybe
the
too close to
requirement that
before.
this whole thing becomes a cinematic universe? Is that the whole thing?
See, I think that's the problem. I think
Because
you
if
let
take a bunch
things
of those
become
DC
that way.
Movies as individual movies, they're fine. And I can't believe I'd be defending comic book movies, but like because I don't. But like, Batman Begins was a good movie, right? The Batman.
Yeah,
Dark
I
Knight,
do like
every
the
single
Batman
one of
Begins
those
stuff.
were good movies. The that Suicide Squad movie, not just Suicide Squads, the Suicide
the first
Squad.
one or the second one.
Yeah, the second one was a cool movie. I enjoyed that. That spawned off, some other the TV show and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Um,
But you have the direction of James Gunn, which initially started. I think
well, I know,
James
I know
Gunn
that's
initiated
them
the
trying to
success in
capture-
MCU.
That's what they were trying to capture, but even before that, like I said, if you were to just take the Gibson out of here.
He wanted to share.
We're doing important things.
He wanted to share. Let him share.
Oh my god.
It's like the dog pooped on the rug again.
I know, probably.
So, real quick here, wrap it up. What is the worst adaptation? Because there's been a ton. Growing up, when we did, there was a ton of stinkers, man.
I mean, I once watched an Italian Captain America movie. I remember when I was a kid. Yeah,
That's a new one for me.
yeah. Let's see. Hang on.
I would say the Resident Evil movies, I think, in my opinion, are the worst. I think they didn't care about the property. I think they took bits and pieces of what they wanted, and it was just a huge cash grab. There's like, what, 6 of them? Something like that. There's
I
like a
don't know how that's
ridiculous
possible, yeah.
amount of Resident Evil movies. That's the one that always stands out first to me. I haven't seen the Monster Hunter movie, which is apparently garbage as well. But that's also Mila Djokovic and her husband, and like they
There's
fucked
so
up
many
Resident
bad
Evil
ones.
too.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean,
But
anything made by Yui Boll, I think beats out Resident Evil movies. But Resident Evil movies are fun action movies, man. They're cool.
John, what's a clunker?
The Captain America 1990
Okay.
is a superhero film based on Captain America. He actually is dressed like Captain America, so it's not like they just threw out the source material. And I said it was from Italy, but I don't know. I think maybe they were just talking like they were from another country.
They're like,
I had this
hey.
Okay, they planned to shoot on Italy. They ended up shooting it in Yugoslavia, and everything was filmed in Zagreb and
Going after Baron Zemo, I guess.
Yeah, that was they should have leaned into it and had him going to Latvia. Or, wait, what's Victor Von Doom's?
Yeah.
Latvia.
I was about to call it Latvia.
Latvia.
But they should have just leaned into that part. But no, they were just trying to pretend it was not in Europe, and it was very European.
Ben, what's the worst you can think of right now?
Resident Evil, the first one.
I mean, okay.
the legitimately, I think the others are worse, but I think Resident Evil, I think the first one started just this horrible snowball effect that ruined the property.
Lasers in the hallway scene was fire.
Yes.
Oh,
no.
All you remember from the movie.
Didn't they even like reuse it like again in like the second movie?
You can reuse that every single movie. It's
That's
so cool.
Legit. I think the Resident Evil, I think starting there is probably that I just can't. I wanted to be excited for it because I liked the games, and then I got into the movie and I'm like, this is just dog shit.
I'm gonna have to go. I know I say one, but obviously Super Mario Brothers, the first one, is just WTF.
The Bob Hoskins one?
Yes.
Oh, I totally forgot about that one. Wait,
That
let me
one's
change
awful.
mine. That one's so
awful.
bad.
Sour taste in my mouth rest of my life. The
Yeah,
original Street Fighter movie
that's a good one.
There were a lot of cool things about that movie, though.
Was
No.
crap.
The original Street Fighter movie was good. Everyone was on cocaine. You had Kylie Minogue.
I know.
That was a great one.
The Tekken movie, I'm a big Tekken fan, is notoriously terrible as well.
Yeah, I was
There
like,
a Tekken
when did they
movie.
make a Tekken movie?
Mid 2000s. It was trash.
Yeah.
I heard Dragon Ball was terrible. The lead actor actually apologized for how bad that movie was.
What?
None of these were on my radar, so I probably already figured they were
Yeah,
bad. I don't
man.
know.
I just haven't seen enough of these movies, I guess. Dang.
But quick shout out also, it just came to mind, but I will say here, the original Ninja Turtles movie is
was bad? That did so much business.
What?
no, amazing. No, sorry. Let me preface. A great adaptation. No, the original Ninja
okay,
Turtles.
okay.
I thought you were...
No. Sorry, no.
It's like we're gonna fight you.
I'm sorry. No.
Like, are you even...
I'm gonna close my laptop and
No,
come
no,
over
it
to your
just
house
came
and
to
beat your
mind.
ass.
But
the hell?
The first Ninja Turtles is an amazing adaptation, and I'd feel bad if it didn't get mentioned talking about Ninja Turtles beginning of the cast here, but there's some really good ones. Maybe
I even
not
think
as
the new
obvious.
ones are not bad. I think the new ones are fun. Yeah, I think they capture the uniqueness of some of the turtles, even the CGI. Like, I mean, nothing gets over the big old foam suits and being able to see the mouths in the mouths. But I think the new ones are fun too.
Bring it back. So okay. Well, I think that's about it for time. Any last thoughts? Any honorable mentions here, real quick?
Blade.
Did you ever hear
Evil.
the thing with Blade Trinity and like
Oh my
and Wesley Snipes' absolute disdain for Reynolds?
Oh, that's a scam. They after Deadpool and Wolverine came out, they said they were friends. They were just doing kayfabe on everybody for years.
Oh, for years.
I know,
And Wesley
it's kinda, like,
Snipes had to
devastating. Like,
they had to
really?
CGI Wesley Snipes
Yeah, they
opening
had
his
to
eyes
CGI his
because
eyes
he
open.
refused to do it.
Oh, okay, maybe.
And it still turned out good. I you know what? The whole trilogy was solid. I like the third movie a lot. I like the second movie
The second movie was really good.
a lot.
I
Oh my
like the
gosh.
second movie a lot.
The Blood Pack was cool as hell.
I know you love the Blood Pact.
The third one had Triple H in it. What? Oh my god!
Metal Teeth. Invincible is a great.
Didn't he have the dog,
adaptation
too?
As well.
Yeah, when he was like, "Have you seen my dog?"
Poodle. Yeah, Invincible's great. I think that maybe even is what started the conversation last week. The Boys, I would say,
Yeah.
is way better than the comic book was. So that's one where it's better than the source material. And then
Yeah.
as much as I do love Preacher, that's what I want to talk about. I never saw the show because what I saw
You
just
gotta do
did
your
not
research
appeal to
before we
me.
come
I don't
back to
know.
Preacher.
But,
We can do an episode talking about Preacher.
yeah, but you said it was great, so maybe I'm missing out. But
I like it.
anyway. Cool. Okay.
I think it fell off after the second season. I don't know.
You know what? I'm a pig that eats slop.
Well, thanks for listening, all three of you, and we will be back next week as well. This is the Very Important People Talking About Very Important Things podcast, and we'll see you later. Take care.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Bye.